You know what I'm saying? So everybody's up in raw about this Dave Chappelle thing, and you know what I'm saying, and his documentary about him paying tribute to George Floyd and 846 or 843 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I think it was 846, but you know what I'm saying? And everybody said, oh, see, they won't let him, you know what I'm saying, pay homage to George Floyd, and they won't let him, you know what I'm saying, come out with a documentary about George Floyd, and George Floyd this, and George Floyd that, and ever since he said all of this about the you-know-whos. That's BS. Because every documentary, because let's keep it real. Dave Chappelle passed his soul through the fire to Mola. You understand? No matter how much you guys love Dave Chappelle, no matter how much you guys want Dave Chappelle to be your great black savior and your great black hope, no matter, I know, you guys want Dave Chappelle to be your big black savior, the big black hope. I know this. No matter how much, he's still sold out. Now, before I get into the George Floyd thing, I want to tell you something, people. Check this out. Dave Chappelle, he had the biggest Comedy Central show on Comedy Central called The Chappelle Show. I used to love that show. Matter of fact, he don't even look the same from that show. Don't look at the same at all. But I used to love that show. But then it was time for the renegotiation of contracts. You know what I'm saying? So that he can, you know what I'm saying, go on for other seasons. It was gonna be, it would have been other seasons of the Dave Chappelle show. It would have, people. It would have. Because Comedy Central made sure, Comedy Central put up $50 million for Dave Chappelle to renegotiate his Comedy Central contract. So it can be more episodes of the Chappelle show. But, they had bigger plans for Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle wanted more. I guess he didn't want to be strapped in to Comedy Central. He wanted, you know what I'm saying, bigger and better things. So he had to go to Africa. He had to go see some Canaanites, juju priests. Some Canaanite juju priests. He had to go to Africa, meet with some Canaanite juju priests, and do God knows what. When he came back, that $50 million Netflix, that $50 million Comedy Central deal was still on the table. He could have went right back to Comedy Central, grabbed a hold of that $50 million Comedy Central deal, and continue on the Comedy Central Dave Chappelle legacy. But did he do it? No, he did not do it. What did he get instead? By going over to the Canaanites, he came back and tripled his worth by $150 million in the form of a Netflix deal. And that's the Netflix deal that we're talking about here. And this is the ending. This, you know what I'm saying? His contract with Netflix was coming up to a closing. He knows that his contract with Netflix was coming up to a closing. The network at Netflix know that the Comedy Central, the Netflix contract with Dave Chappelle was coming up to a closing. That's why the series is called The Closer. Because it was the end of his Netflix deal, and he knows that is not going to be renegotiated. So when you are not going to be on Netflix anymore, what is the best thing to do? Make a big splash, make a big grand finale, so that whatever project that you go into next, you're going to get the attention of the people, because they are knowing you for doing what? For rebelling against the system. But Dave Chappelle is not rebelling against the system. He is leading you under false pretenses of thinking that he's rebelling against the system. You signed on to Comedy Central. That's signing an oath. You played in Half-Baked and all them other movies you played in. That's signing an oath, Dave Chappelle. Not only that, you went over to Africa to see the Canaanites. You signed the oath. Now you signed on to Netflix. You signed the oath, Dave Chappelle. How in the hell is you now trying to portray that you going against the system? What do the Bible say, is Dave Chappelle? A kingdom that divideth against itself cannot stand. So therefore, if you are dividing yourself against Esau's kingdom, which is the government, how are you still able to speak? I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a good example too, people. This is a good example. This is the best example. What's his name? Nick Cannon. That's a good example. Nick Cannon. What did he say on his podcast? Now, before Nick Cannon said this on his podcast, he had his show, millions of dollars and everything, right? He said one thing on his podcast. And what did they do? They all the way silenced him. He was not able to speak. They took away his money. They took away everything. That shows you that why are you able to still speak and have a voice, Dave Chappelle, if you going against the system? Tell me that. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And everybody who is following you thinking that you are the great black hope. You know what I'm saying? And that person to follow to think that, oh, Dave Chappelle is an independent. He's going against them. Nah. He's with them. He's with the same agenda, people. And don't think different. Now, on to this George Floyd thing. The documentary was never meant to come out. Was never meant to come out. You know what I'm saying? He just throwing that in there because he know that touches a heartstring on the people. Because he know the people is so wrapped around that junkie. Yes. George Floyd was a junkie. He was a straight up junkie. He was a ex-porn actress or actor, a ex-rapper with the UGK group, and he was a serial robber, which he put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach to rob her of her purse, just so that he can fix his heroin habit. He counterfeited money. He passed a fake $20 bill so that he can get the real $20 bill, so that he can get a bag of heroin. And that is who you black people put up to be your savior. That is who you black people put up to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, George Floyd, justice for George Floyd. When he was just a psyop, the people, the powers that be, uses to do what? To show you. Oh man, I tell you, people, people are too naive. Listen, Dave Chappelle cannot be, you know what I'm saying, your great black savior. I know. No matter how much you want Dave Chappelle to be your great black savior, he cannot be your great black savior because he got other agendas in mind. You understand? But you see what the elites is doing. The elites is using Dave Chappelle, Kwame Brown, Umar Johnson, Charlemagne, and all the other, you know what I'm saying, and Kevin Samuels. All of these are people that is controlled by the elites, and all of these are people that the elites put in place to control the slaves. Who are the slaves? You. Well, just wanted to touch base on that Dave Chappelle thing. Hope you understand, people. I'm your host. I'm your pastor, Mr. Michael Smith. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop this breaking news on you. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button as you guys come in here. If you want to donate to this ministry, the PayPal link is in the description box below. Till next time, a higher bless you.